So what are you gonna do to make your videos better? Get some good gears, expensive cameras and lenses, or work so hard on editing? Well, I think in camera process, when you shoot is more important. That will give you a lot of possibilities. So today I'm going to share you guys 5 filmmaking shooting tips. Write, shoot, edit. This is my priority in filmmaking. Writing decides everything including shooting and editing. And shooting decides whether your editing will have a lot of possibilities or not. So there are 5 filmmaking shooting tips that I use a lot in my videos and short films. Number 1, custom white balance. So when you make B-roll or short film, probably you will think about colors, depending on the theme of them. So when it comes to this color, most of people do color grading in post-production process. But what about in camera process? Well, thinking about color in this process, of course, there is lighting, but how about white balance? So usually white balance is for getting a pure white. When you use auto white balance, the camera does it automatically, so your image has a pure white, right color balance. But when you have some specific color theme of your video, you can use this white balance for pre-color grading. So this is shot on auto white balance. As you can see, the image has pure white, normal, but this is shot on green, blue, custom white balance. So now the image has some specific color theme. I don't know, it looks like a Joker or a John Wick look, like a modern film look. And this one is orange, yellow, custom white balance. It has some vintage and faux of 5 p.m. look. So those footages were shot without picture profile, but definitely this will work for log and HLG. Especially when you do color grading from those profiles, pre-color grading with white balance is also a good way to develop your footages. Number 2, in-camera transition. So in-camera transition is shooting videos in a specific way for transition with other footages. There are some popular ways like a black in, black out, and whip pan. I didn't do any crazy editing on those. I shot those footages with thinking about how I can make them together. I made how to do in-camera transition before, so if you're interested, here's a video for you. So when you're actually shooting and don't know what to do editing yet, just try this in-camera transition just in case. Maybe those in-camera transitions will help you out when you edit. Number 3, tripod shot. So when you shoot alone, probably you use tripod to shoot yourself, right? Me too. But sometimes you think like, okay, I want to give this shooting some moves like a pan, tilt, and zoom, but nobody's here. Well, you can give it some fake moves if you have cameras and editing software and tripods. Maybe you don't need a tripod. If there is something that can hold the camera steady, that's okay. So first, place a camera and a tripod in the position you want and set the focal length a little bit wider than your plan. If you want to shoot with 45, set around 35-30 and start recording. Do whatever you want. Next, go to Premiere Pro, in my case. So if you want to give zooming in to this footage, keyframe the scale at the default and moving to where you want to stop zooming in and increase the scale, for example, 115. Now it's gradually zooming in. And also, if you want zooming out, do the opposite. First, make a keyframe at the beginning and increase the scale like again 115. And moving to where you want to stop it, make it back to default. Now it's gradually zooming out. So by using a keyframe of a scale, you can give some moves to a steady shot. I recommend using tripods for this because if the footage is shaking, it's not cool. It doesn't look real. Number 4, detail and wide shot. So when you make B-roll and short film, this detail and wide shot is very important. For example, there is a scene where the guy is picking up the CD. So this is only wide shot for that action. Well, we can see the whole action, but couldn't see the detail of that CD. And this is only detail shot. Okay, now we can see the title and artist name of it, but that's pretty much what we know. We don't know what's going on. So combine them. Okay, now we know both of what's going on and what he picked up, the details of it. So a lot of people tend to do with only this wide shot without detail. One of the reasons why I do this detail shot is that I can help the story with it. Like for example, what he picked up, the CD is a memorable thing with a best friend who passed away a few years ago. So his face is kind of sad. So using both of detail and wide shot helps the story and also helps the audience to understand it. Number 5, focus control. So by controlling focus manually, you also can control the attention of the audience. Okay, so for example, there is some memorable photo on the first side of this table and there is a knife in front of the camera. First, focus on that photo and gradually switch to this knife. Like this, we can control where people see by moving focus points. If you have the camera with good autofocus, you also can do this with touch focus, which I do a lot. And also you can do like this. First, everything is blurred until the face shows up there. So about this, first place the face at the final position where it's in focus. Use manual focus or touch focus, but when you do that, you have to fix it and move away from that focus point and go back there. This technique is used a lot in movies and TV shows. We can manipulate the patient and the satisfaction. Very effective. So those things I talked so far are not everything. There are a lot of things that I couldn't cover this time, but I am pretty sure those shooting tips will make your videos much more better if you haven't used yet. At least they work well for me. Even though you don't actually use them right now, it's important to know those ways, options. Someday they will be helpful. Maximize your filmmaking potential with them. Okay, this is it. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, don't hesitate to leave some comment below. Also, if you have any filmmaking tips, suggestions, also leave a comment below too. So today's pretty much it, and thank you for watching this video. If you like this one, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Profile. What's the difference? Profile.
I didn't get that.
Profile.
I didn't get...
Which is the right way to pronounce? Profile. I think the profile is... Never mind.